way out. In the absence of any new business,
Actually, I'd say something, Mayor. A couple comments without being as verbose as my cohort over here for the last 2 years. My first time as counselor, I enjoyed it. It was very challenging, but to echo Max's comments a couple weeks ago, it was a pleasure sitting on this dais with these 6 other individuals. I shouldn't exclude the individuals behind us. Basically because of the personalities. Again, we did have some challenging issues to discuss, and I felt the way each and every one of us went about it made it a very diplomatic sessions, and it was a lot different than in the past. Not that I've had any experience on the council in the past, but from what I've heard from other councilors and constituents and how it's been. This upcoming year, there are obviously some familiar faces in the appointed positions and elected positions, as well as some new faces coming on in elected positions. I would just encourage you to remember that these are difficult, challenging times. This is not like it was back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And I just encourage all the officials to work together and remember the open form of government, and that all particular issues have to go before the 6 individuals that are sitting up here come January 4th. And again, thank you very much for allowing me to have this service for the last couple of years. It's been a privilege.
I'd like to thank the community for allowing me the privilege of also being here. It's the best of my terms, I think, these past 2 years. I sometimes get passionate about issues, and I tend to raise my voice. So my husband might know, but I know I raised my voice at you a couple times, Max, and
I'm shocked.
What's that thing in his ear?
I want to apologize for that, but not for my passion, but just for raising my voice.
I don't even remember those circumstances. So there was a reason that I would like to refer you as the gentle woman.
Sarcasm, is that it?
Because I meant that.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure serving with you.
And thank all of you.
I too would like to thank everybody and
No pressure, everybody.
and citizens of Oneida. I've enjoyed my 2 years. Thank you.
I can say the same about him.
I too have enjoyed my 2 years as mayor. I've enjoyed working with the 6 councilors. I've enjoyed working with the department heads. I've enjoyed working with the city employees that I had actual contact with. I'm a firm believer in the chain of command, and I dealt almost exclusively with the department heads. I think that having looked at what goes on, the services that are provided by the city, and what city employees do both as a consumer of those, as a resident, and now having been in office for 2 years, I will express my opinion that many people in the city of Oneida take for granted what city employees do. The number of hours they work, the dangers that they face, and it's not only the police and the fire departments that face dangers. Our wastewater treatment personnel, our water department, they work in dangerous circumstances from time to time. Our DPW people are out at all hours of the night and day dealing with trees that are hazardous, bad driving conditions, trying to plow the snow so that it's safe for us to get up and go to work. And there are so many people who just take for granted that somehow, some way, the roads are plowed at 6:30 or 6:45 when they leave. Well, it's because people get up and do the work, and they enjoy their work, they don't complain, and I really have been impressed by all of the city employees. There are 2 appointees of the mayor who will be leaving their appointed office at the end of the year, the Public Safety Commissioner and the City Attorney, who I want to recognize. Public Safety Commissioner Doug Lippert brought to the position of Public Safety Commissioner over 40 years of experience working with police. He retired from the New York State Troopers and then worked for won't try to figure out how many years, Doug, as the stop DWI coordinator for Madison County, but 40 years or more of experience working with the police side of the emergency services equation. And that was a level of competence and experience and knowledge of how things work and how they don't work that has been extremely valuable to our police and our fire departments. City Attorney Michael DeBatis has worked very diligently, and as an attorney, I'm in a very good position to express an opinion as to the quality of his work. In my opinion, the quality of his work has been top-notch. And I want to give you one example. I want to give the public one example, because the members of the council know about this, but I'm not sure that the perception is out there. The city enters into contracts for all sorts of things. Among the provisions of those contracts is that the city is to be named as an additional insured or otherwise provided insurance as part of that contract. And that is something that the city pays for. Prior to 2008, there was very little due diligence in reviewing the insurance that was supposed to be provided to the city. And it emerged as an issue. Mr. DeBatis spent a great deal of time trying to figure out what was a cost-effective way to make sure that we were getting our insurance. He worked extensively with Mr. Bacher because this really is significant in the bigger contracts that typically fall under the Department of Public Works. And the two of them spent a great deal of effort trying to come up with revised insurance requirements that could be reviewed in a relatively timely fashion. And they did so, and they have put that into place, and it is working, I would say, very well. So actually, I think the city owes a debt of gratitude to Mr. DeBatis and Mr. Bacher for addressing this. It's something that when everything is going right, you know, it's easy to not spend the time. But the failure to spend the time could have been catastrophic for this city had something gone wrong. Fortunately, nothing that I'm aware of went wrong in these 2 years. I hope that this approach of reviewing the insurance will continue into the future. It's not particularly sexy, to use that term, to talk about insurance, but it is an expense for which we should get our due value. And that insurance protection protects the taxpayers and the financial health of the city. So while it may not be flashy, it is of critical importance to our city. And I thank Mr. Bacher and I thank Mr. DeBatis for the many hours that they spent sorting this out. A motion to adjourn is always in order. So moved. Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Thank you.